Okay, let's unpack this. It really does feel like we're living in a time where, you know, things that sounded impossible are just happening, especially with AI.
The pace is just incredible, isn't it? What seemed like science fiction maybe a year or two ago is suddenly real.
Exactly. And if you're listening, you probably want to get a handle on these big shifts fast, get those aha moments without getting lost in all the tech talk. And, well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, it's not just that they're happening, but the sheer speed. Milestones we thought were years away are being hit in, like, months.
Totally. And today, we're doing a deep dive into 3 really big AI releases coming out of China. They're impressive on their own, but they're also starting to seriously challenge the benchmarks set by companies like OpenAI.
So this is kind of your shortcut to understanding these key developments.
Precisely. Think of it as your fast track.
Hmm.
So what are we looking at? First up, Tencent's Hanuen Image 2.0. It's shaking up how fast images can be generated.
Right. Then there's Alibaba's Vase.
Yep. Vase, an all-in-one tool for AI video creation and editing. And finally, ByteDance. They've got a double hitter. Seed 1.5 VL, a really advanced vision language model.
And Deerflow, which is their framework for using multiple AIs together.
Exactly. So the mission for us today, figure out what these tools can actually do, why they're making waves, and what the most kind of surprising or impactful parts are for you listening in.
Without needing that computer science degree, right?
You got it. Let's start with images. Tencent's Hanuen Image 2.0. You mentioned speed.
Yeah, they're calling it a major leap in real-time generation.
And they really mean real time. We're talking milliseconds. You type, speak, or even sketch something, and boom, the image appears almost instantly.
That's a huge difference if you've used older AI image tools, the diffusion models.
Oh, absolutely. Those often had that lag, right? You type your prompt and then, wait, it could really break your creative flow.
Made the whole process feel a bit ancient, almost.
Compared to this, yeah. But it's not just the speed. The quality's apparently taken a big jump, too. Hanuen Image 2.0 scored over 95% accuracy on Genival benchmarks.
Wow, 95%. That's not just a small step up. That's significantly better than many leading generators.
It really is. It suggests, better algorithms, better training data.
Which means for you, the user, you're much more likely to get an image that actually looks like what you asked for. Realistic textures, sharp details, even complex scenes.
And think about what that means for designers, artists, people doing professional work, illustrations, ads, concept art. You could actually use this while you're working, iterating instantly.
No more endless tweaking and waiting cycles.
Exactly. And they have this drawing board feature.
Yeah, tell me about that.
It sounds really cool. Imagine sketching or maybe adjusting sliders for color or effects and seeing the image update live on screen in real time.
Okay, that's a game changer for rapid iteration, exploring ideas on the fly.
Totally. Plus, it takes different inputs, text, sketches, even voice. Think about live settings, education maybe, live streaming, marketing, generating visuals immediately.
Yeah, it moves image generation from an after-the-fact thing to something integrated into live interaction. Very interesting.
Okay, so from still images, let's pivot to video. Alibaba's 1X Lab has introduced Vase.
Vase, video, all-in-one creation and editing. The name says a lot.
It really does. It's aiming to solve that problem where AI video tools are all fragmented. You use one app for this, another for that.
Right. One for generating, maybe another for cutting, a third for effects or masking.
Yeah.
It gets complicated fast.
Such a headache. Exporting, importing. Vase wants to put it all together. Generation, editing, like cutting, masking, compositing, even animation, all in one place.
And it's open source, built on their, 14 billion parameter model.
Yep, the 2.1 backbone. Being open source is pretty significant, right? It means more people can use it, maybe even improve it.
Definitely. Wider access, community contribution potential. So what can it actually do?
Yeah. Well, the basics, like text-to-video generation, but also editing specific parts of clips, say, changing the sky in a scene.
Without messing up the rest of the shot.
Exactly. Or combining reference images and videos to get really specific control over the output's look and feel. Mask edits, swapping objects, recoloring things, even extending scenes.
All within that single workflow. No jumping between apps.
That's the goal. And they have this concept called the video unit.
Okay, what's that about? Sounds like the secret sauce for keeping things consistent.
Kind of. Think of it like a smart recipe manager for your video. It tracks the original prompt, the footage, your edits, and makes sure everything hangs together when you make it changes.
So it helps avoid those weird jump cuts or, objects just looking off when you replace them.
Precisely. It aims for smoothness and coherence.
Yeah.
Motion, lighting, transitions, it tries to keep it all seamless, even if you're doing multiple complex edits.
That's been a real challenge for AI video and resolution.
Currently up to 720p, which, okay, isn't 4K, but it's perfectly fine for a lot of web content, social media.
Yeah, practical for many uses right now.
Yeah.
And presumably they're aiming higher eventually.
No doubt. And you'll need a decent GPU to run it locally, but since it's open source, the models and code are out there on Hugging Face and Model Scope, if you're comfortable with Python.
The setup should be manageable.
Yep.
So for you, the listener, this means a potentially much more streamlined video workflow.
Absolutely. Text to video, video to video transformations like day to night, targeted mask edits, animating static images using video references, combining all that.
It's like having a full production studio in a browser tab or on your desktop.
That's how they're positioning it. And interestingly, in human evaluation tests, people actually preferred Vase's output over some big competitors.
Really? Why?
They cited higher quality frames, smoother transitions, fewer visual artifacts. That's pretty telling given how tricky AI video quality has been.
Yeah, that suggests a real step forward in quality and usability.
Definitely. Right. Let's move on to ByteDance. Two big things here. Seed 1.5 VL and Deerflow.
This is moving into multimodal AI,
Right.
right? Understanding different types of data together.
Exactly. Seed 1.5 VL is their vision language foundation model. Think of it as AI that can see and understand language together. It combines a vision encoder, fairly compact, 532 million parameters.
With a pretty hefty language model, 20 billion parameters, mixture of experts.
Right. And despite not being the absolute biggest model out there, parameter-wise, it's apparently topping the charts on a lot of benchmarks. 38 out of 60 public VLM benchmarks.
Outperforming models from OpenAI and Anthropic in some key areas. That's impressive.
It is. A lot likely comes down to the training data. Over 3 trillion high-quality tokens. Text, images, video, audio.
And they have a whole pipeline for cleaning and curating that data, right? Making sure it's good stuff.
Yeah, checks for quality, aspect ratios, removing duplicates, even making sure it sees enough examples of rare visual concepts so it's not just trained on common stuff.
Smart. And the architecture itself, how does it handle vision and language?
Well, the vision part, CDVI, processes images efficiently. Then the language model does the complex reasoning. One really neat trick is how it handles video.
Oh, yeah.
They call it dynamic frame resolution sampling. Basically, the AI adapts. If it's watching a fast action scene, it analyzes more frames in detail. If it's a slower video, it dials back the frame rate and resolution analysis.
Ah, so it optimizes its processing power based on the content complexity, staying within a budget. Clever.
Yeah, very clever. It lets it handle both short, intense clips and longer, simpler videos effectively.
And the benchmark results reflect that. It performs well across different tasks.
Seems so. Matched or beat much larger models in things like image classification, multimodal reasoning, document analysis, video understanding, diagram interpretation, even reading text in images. OCR, it's setting new bars.
And have a thinking mode.
Yeah, apparently that helps it perform better on tasks needing longer reasoning chains, more complex problem solving.
So potential applications.
Yeah.
Chatbots that can see what you're showing them.
Exactly. Or AI agents controlling software GUIs, advanced video Q&A. Anything needing that blend of vision and language understanding.
Okay, that's Seed. What about Deerflow? That's the multi-agent framework.
Right. This is a different approach. Instead of one giant AI trying to do everything, Deerflow lets you build a team of specialized AI agents.
So breaking down complex tasks, like research, into smaller parts handled by different AIs.
Precisely. It's an open source framework for automating deep research. Imagine, instead of one AI planning, searching, coding, and writing a report.
You have a planner agent, a web search agent, a code execution agent, a reporting agent, all coordinated.
Exactly. They work together through a directed graph structure built on tools like LangChain and LangGraph. A coordinator oversees the team.
And crucially, there's a human-in-the-loop aspect.
Yes, and that's super important for things like research where accuracy matters. You, the user, can review what the agents are doing, check their reasoning, change the plan, override steps.
That adds a layer of control and trust that you might not get with a fully autonomous black box system.
Absolutely essential for R&D, scientific discovery, that sort of thing. Plus, they've tried to make it developer-friendly. Supports modern Python, Node.js.
Comes with pre-built pipelines and examples to get you started.
Yep. MIT license, run it locally or cloud, full web UI for visualizing the workflow, debugging.
It makes it more accessible for people wanting to experiment with multi-agent systems.
For sure. It integrates with web search APIs, code tools, ByteDance's own model platform. You can automate things like literature reviews, technical reporting, maybe even generating slides or...
Podcast scripts.
Maybe initial drafts. It even has text-to-speech to turn reports into audio.
So Deerflow gives you this modular system. Coordinator, planner, research team, reporter, plus that human feedback loop.
Exactly. If you're serious about automating complex analysis or content creation at scale, a framework like this looks incredibly powerful.
It really feels like we're seeing innovation firing on all cylinders in AI right now. These three examples from China are just...
Wow. You nailed it. The pace is just relentless. So
Yeah.
quick recap. Tencent's Hanuen Image 2.0 instant images, Alibaba's Vase, the all-in-one video studio, and ByteDance with Seed 1.5 VL for sharp multimodal understanding and Deerflow for automated agent teamwork.
Each represents a pretty significant jump in capability and potentially accessibility.
And hopefully, for you listening, this deep dive delivered those insights, that quick but solid understanding we talked about. So maybe a final thought to chew on.
Go for it.
How might these kinds of tools, instant images, integrated video suites, automated research agents, how might they change your work or your creative projects, or even just how you find and understand information day to day?
What becomes possible when these things are everywhere, woven into everything?
Exactly. It's something to think about as AI keeps evolving so rapidly. Staying informed is definitely key.
Absolutely. It's going to be fascinating to watch where this goes next.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.